What's up, y'all? So I was trying to figure out what I'm going to do for Thursday's session, and um, you know how it is, the doom scrolling. For me, it's doom YouTubing. Got me, and I saw Cody Miller's thing, and Cody to me comes across as a very well. How do I say this? Not well received, but like worldly. That might be the right word. Person, right? Like he's not. He can be he can think outside of himself, right? So it's like, yeah, like I have my own opinions on things, but then but I can understand, I guess empathy might be the right word too, other people's points of view and why they would think that, what's in their best interest and whatnot. And I'm sitting here watching this video. I'm 4 minutes in, and I was like, I want to do a reaction to this. And then I was like, oh, I should just do it live instead of watching this twice. So we're gonna watch it. We're gonna do it once.
Paid to support your family, to be recognized for what you bring to the table. That's what a job is meant to do. Reward your effort, time, and skill. For over a decade, Christian gave everything to a system that gave him almost nothing back. He trained harder than most people can imagine, followed every rule, and made it to the very top, only to earn less than a livable wage. Now he competes in a different arena on.
So I'll say this. I saw this and read it, and I was like, I think a lot of times the best response is no response. And I kind of read this and kind of skimmed through it, or thumbed through it, and didn't really pay attention to it, because I was like, in my opinion, she should have just said nothing, right? But now listening to Cody read it, I was like, dang. It's not that like I don't care either way, which if you like it or not, but as far as you got to remember that a lot of things, and I'm guilty of it too, clearly. Right, there's the swimming approved version of how we think the sports can grow, and then there's the non-swimming approved, and then there's the outside perspective on swimming. Not necessarily like their perception on it as, we're the dirty kids sitting alone at our table, but their perception of athletes, professional athletes within a sport. And it kind of like made me think like, oh, okay. Like, cause to me in the swimming community, and even as like a hooper, like, I don't care what she's saying about this. Like, it's like, but I also know what's going on. To somebody who doesn't know what's going on, who's outside of it, like if it was me as a hooper who didn't know anything about the enhanced games, this is a great job by, I don't know what her name is. Wife. Sorry. I'm not going backwards. But yeah. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody's guilty of it. Like, clearly my own not bias, but perception got in the way, right? Like, even as me trying to use my hooper brain, I know what's going on. So shout out to Cody for I'll say personally, for me, helping me work through this, because getting kind of looking at it again is like give me another line of perspective now that it's calmed down a little bit, or my brain's not so hyperactive and telling people that they're tripping, right?
And with the full transparency. And for the first time, he's being paid what he's worth. So what's more fair? An athlete who gives 13 years with little to no return, or one who competes in a new system that values him for what he's always been, one of the best in the world. I support Christian completely, both as his wife and as a former competitive swimmer who knows exactly what this journey costs. He didn't cheat, he didn't lie, he did it right, and he earned everything he achieved.
I don't know if he answers this on this, but that's right. He did not cheat, he did not lie. Right, this game, and I said this on my in my last, I think it was my first one. Everybody who did this, at least I've seen, so it was James, the guy from, I don't know where he's from, a European dude, and then Christian. They all retired before doing this, and I said that that's just a sign of respect. Like, I'm not going to be cheating and be affiliated with clean sport. Like, I'm going to remove myself from it. I'm not going to tarnish what that avenue represents, and I'm going to do my own thing. So I completely agree right there. He didn't lie. He didn't cheat. He did do it right. He did do it right. Shout out.
As a wife, I can completely sympathize and understand where she's coming from. I mean, I've seen Cody for years, our entire relationship. All of the things that people don't see. I mean, people see him out on the deck. They know that he's probably going to practice. They probably know that he goes to the weight room. But I don't think people really realize how much goes on outside of the pool and after hours. It's all the time. It's nonstop. Watching someone that you love go through all of these sacrifices only not to get paid what you feel they should. It's wild how much they go through.
She's 100% right.
Yeah.
Like you give your
So
whole life to something and you can't support yourself.
Right.
That's the biggest issue we have with the whole Olympic movement in general is that
I'm gonna have to disagree like 3,000,000% right here. I think they're both terribly wrong. The market determines your worth. Point blank, period. If your market doesn't determine what you're worth that much, you ain't worth that much, right? It's like I don't get to decide that I want to be a competitive painter and then dedicate my life to being like the most elite with my acrylics and whatever, and then complain that nobody is regarding me for the best that I am, even though every 4 years I go to this amazing acrylic painting competition and the world watches it and I'm amazing, right? It's the same thing with what's that guy's name? The guy who's crying from a Team Adidas right now about not having a shoe. The fastest man in the world. I can't think of his name. That's the issue, right? Like that's why he ain't getting paid. That's why he don't have his shoe. I can't even remember his name. Like, and this is why like I'm always on Instagram talking trash about how like we don't know who we are. Like, first of all, shout out to Christian. Like, first thing I always said, like, get paid, young player, get paid, get that bread, get the bag. But at the same time, it's almost like cheating the market, in my opinion. Now, if they want to cheat, if they say, hey, come cheat the market, we gonna give you the bread, take the bread. You know, that ain't on you. You know, stack those Benjis. But swimmers are not, even though I think clearly the market's saying something else now, clearly, right? I've said this, that it's now the standard, the precedent has been set that you can put $1 million behind a swimmer, right? So, yeah, I get it, but at the same time, like, nah. The market says we ain't worth much. And if you ain't, and you can say you do all the things that are worth it, but you ain't showing off your swagger, you ain't showing off your personality, you ain't being interesting in front of the camera. And if you know as a sport we have to do that and you don't do it, you don't deserve to get paid. That's how I feel about it. You do what it takes or you don't.
They're making billions of dollars and almost none of it goes to the athletes. Every athlete feels like that's not right, but that's the system that we live in.
What would it take for you to
And that's another thing. Conviction. If we had any balls, we would say everybody's going to the enhanced game until we have a revenue sharing agreement today. But everybody's on the internet crying about the enhanced games. There is no unity in our sport. It's embarrassing. We are an embarrassment, guys. That's how I feel. And I think I've said this. Like, that's how other sports look at it. It's like Cam's talking about like competitive walking. I don't watch it now. Of course I don't want to see more of it. Like, we don't deserve to be paid. You can't even stand for what you believe in and say we're gonna go be professional cheaters unless you cut us a check. Like this, and that's not even hard tactical planning right there. We don't get it. I'm geeking a little bit. Sorry, guys.
participate in them?
It would take a life-changing amount of money. Obviously, there's been a lot of backlash and an expected response from the World Anti-Doping Agency, from Aqua. I still call them FINA, but from Aqua. Basically, they're saying there is a serious risk in taking part in the enhanced games, not just as an athlete, but just in any way, shape, or form being directly involved in them. There's a statement, I'll put it right here. Even if you are not personally engaged in doping, affiliation with the enhanced games could significantly affect your ability to participate in the future competition. As an athlete, you're gambling.
And that's completely fair. That is their organization. They can make the rules. I don't know if he's going to bring it up, but my issue with it is where they start saying, like, even if you support it, you're a bad person. And it's like, I can do whatever I want with my voice, right? Like, you, FINA, you need to take your ass and go drug test people. Like, but that's your defense? oh, don't support it because if you do, we're going to ban you. Like, no, do your job. Go drug test people. If you see somebody support it, go show up at their door and drug test them. Harass them if you have to. Show up there every day and drug test them. Like, that is your weapon of control. Not trying to punk us. Like, that's what that is. That's what that is. If you read that, they are trying to punk you. There's no teeth behind it. That's when you call somebody's bluff. Can they control free speech? That's what that is. That's how you know it's like it's a bluff. Like, we have a whole country founded on the principle of it's our First Amendment, right? So how much teeth does that letter they sent out really have?
Your ability to do anything in the future by choosing to take part in this new,
Or being affiliated.
yeah,
Would you join for 10 million?
I would join for 10 million. That's a light.
No lie, you know it's ballin'.
$10 million is a life-changing amount of money. Yeah. And I think like you put a lot of like a,
You know what? Hold on, let me take this back real quick. All right, this is what I want to think about. I'm just kind of being funny. My gut reaction was yes. This is where you don't know, where people will be like, no, I wouldn't take it, or yes, I wouldn't take it. This is one of those situations where you don't know what you would do until you're in it, right? Because essentially this is, what are your morals worth, right? Now, I think it's cheating, killer cut. If people want to do it, that's within their moral limits. Like, clearly, Christian has a great moral argument that they clearly did not give a shit about him. So he's going to go collect his check. F you, pay me. So like that's a great moral argument, right? Like, for me, I want to say yes. I want to say yes. And I think for people who have been to the Olympics, I think it's easier for them to, in their moral code, say yes. Because they've done it all, right? And now it's time to collect. It doesn't even matter if they're doing legalized cheating at that point. If you made the team and they weren't taking care of you, like, now it's like, I did everything right. It's time for me to get paid. Like, that's it. I think that's the perfect moral point. Even for 1 million, you did it. They screwed you over. Fuck you. So I'm with that. Me personally, though, 10 mil to compete, I'm gonna have to say no. And here's why. I have my own vehicle to get to my 10 mil. All right, now people are like, Dax, you don't charge enough. Like, I don't worry about that. Like, I ain't no buster. I'm gonna get my paper. And I think that's also, there we go. That's a big part of this too, is that this is their only avenue to make that much money that quickly. Right? And I still think morally it's perfect. But I think, like, and this is the thing about freedom, time and money, is you can say no to things. Right? We look at this world right now, especially I'm going to say the dating world, right? It is in shambles because of our economy and then what this cell phone has done to people, where it's constantly testing people's morals to where it's easy to cheat, right? And I mean, if you only think about like only bands, lonely fans, right? Like something like that. I totally forgot why I brought that up. We're talking about morals. God, it was going to be a great point too. Why did I bring that up? We're talking about morals. Oh yeah, anybody that will sell themselves will sell you out, right? And that's where it's like, once you say yes, it's like, now what else? What else what are your other prices we can manipulate, right? So, unfortunately, as a swimmer, you don't have a lot of avenues if that's what you did, right? Unless you got paid. So you're kind of forced. And I really think if swimming was your only way and then you went into coaching, I think you gotta, unfortunately, you're in a sport that where being clean is a moral obligation, right? not having won and been mistreated by these governing bodies. So you saying yes is going to come across as a huge violation of the ethic code that you signed on to. That's different than what they did, because they signed on to that ethic code and were not compensated for what they did. They have every right to feel cheated and robbed and to go get their paper, because they did it the right way. They were champions. They won at a high level. Now it's time for me to collect my check. I have no problem. But when you don't have that flexibility and you're trapped in this system, like, now your morals are now for sale, right? So that's how I feel about that.
Or high-level swimmers on the spot, would you join for this? The easy answer in public is just to say no, because it's kind of the in the public's eyes the right answer to not be associated with drugs or cheating in any way. But the reality is, like, a life-changing amount of money is a life-changing amount of money.
One commenter feels that they are a disgrace and they should be banned.
A lot of people feel that way, and the reality is,
One commenter feels that they are a disgrace and they should be banned.
a lot of people feel that way, and the reality is, if you take part, you might be banned from every other form of competition.
What's Big Lil's take?
Okay, I feel there's only one person in the world that I feel comfortable speaking on their behalf, because Lily's like my little our little sister. Lily's like, this is dumb, you know, just dumb. But I will say, I have messed,
And I have said, there is only one. What's wrong with this thing? There is only one right answer. You disagree with this. It's this is dumb, right? And that was what I'm geeking out when I was like on people's ass about this. It's like, yo, this doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. Like, why are you freaking out? This is not our sport. These are people who said, I'm going to cheat. I'm a cheater. I'm going to get paid. Which is the whole point of cheating anyways. So, like I said, I knew Lily was a real one. You can just tell. You can just tell. You know what they say? Different animal, same beast. Shout out to Kobe Bryant.
over 30 Olympic swimmers, most of whom are American, a lot of them are not, to get a pulse on how they feel about this. And it's fairly split. Like, some of them just straight up, they're like, I don't like it. I think it's dumb. I think it's bad. The other half are kind of on the fence about it, and they probably wouldn't talk about it publicly at all if they were even remotely curious about it. Again, because you're protecting your reputation. You're putting yourself at risk by doing that.
Do you think the enhanced games will bring more publicity to the sport of swimming?
I mean, in the short term right now, it already has. I've had more people outside the world of swimming ask me about this than like anything else before. That's part of the reason why I'm talking about this.
That's what I said. My bad. I thought I turned it on. Swimming has not been mentioned this much since Michael Phelps. Right? Like, I know, being in the black culture side of things, like, people ain't talking about swimming like that. Like Killer Cam said, like, they ain't talking about swimming like that, but they were during the enhanced games. And that's where the culture is. That's what moves the needle. What they say, black culture is American culture, right? It wasn't black people buying concert tickets. They ain't got no money. So when black people are talking about it, like, the needle's moving. Yes, the popularity is up.
So yeah.
Yeah, people like controversy. We were at our friend Yusuf El Kamash's wedding a few weeks ago. He's an Egyptian national team swimmer. And there I hung out with Brett. I hung out with Brett Hawk. And I was asking what he's been up to. And he's like, well, we've got this new swimming documentary coming out in a few weeks. It's going to ruffle some feathers. And I go, really? He goes, yeah, like, it's going to cause a lot of controversy. I go, interesting. And he didn't tell me what it was. I had no idea. I was like, whoa. And on that, I got a lot of, I don't know if I put a question here on this. I got a lot of people that asked me what I thought of the documentary. I thought it was fascinating. Take your opinion on the steroids and the drugs aside. The documentary itself, as a documentary, was well made. It was handsomely crafted. Like I said, I find it interesting.
Handsomely.
It was. It's like it had the quality of a Netflix documentary, of something that was highly produced. It was good.
Do you think it's good for the future of swimming?
I don't know. It's too early to tell. There's obviously a lot of downside, and we're going to talk about that.
Yes, and I talked about this too. Assuming that the swimming, world aquatics, whatever it is, I'm going to say FINA. Like, I ain't going to play with these guys' names. Assuming they can get their head out their ass, athletes should be allowed to take and compete in non-official USA swimming, or not USA swimming, WADA, USADA, whatever events, right? Like with out of competition approved, competition prohibited drugs. I totally believe that. Like you're telling me, like I don't smoke weed, but you're telling me that someone who smokes weed can't go do an exhibition swim and swim one, because like you could stop, go do the exhibition swim, and I believe it stays in your body for like a week. So you could get popped at an exhibition. Like that's garbage. Like if they can get out of their own way, this will be great for the sport. It can be, because you're going to allow more people to get paid, which would keep people in the swimming longer, which then helps the enhanced games grow, which brings in more, keeps more people in the swimming longer. It puts in more money into the competitors' hands, which puts more money into the swimming economy. And this is where the real issue is. Guys, y'all about to get a lesson on money real quick, right? Economies are nothing more than, what's it called? What's it called when mobsters, money laundering. It's about moving money from these people's hands, obviously in the case of the mob, illegally to a money laundering operation so you can get paid. Now, when you are able to have, like, let's say a Gretchen Walsh, right? She was my example. You allow her to, after her Olympic popularity, go to the enhanced games and take out of competition approved illegal drugs and go 20.9. People are going to tune in and watch that. And if they don't, it's going to be talked about, right? And she's not doing anything illegal because these are out of competition approved drugs. Right now, when that happens, and then people can get paid, like if you get $100,000 as an athlete, as a swimmer, that can carry you. So say you do 2 enhanced games races, even if it's just as like the rabbit, right? Which is like the pace horse, right? So people can have something to measure off of. Like imagine they pay more for that, right? Now you can keep more athletes in the sport, right? So you have this entity putting more money in swimmers' pockets, which then puts more swimmers into the event, which puts more money in their pockets. And now they spend that money in their home neighborhoods, in their buying swim stuff, giving away free stuff when they go to clinics. Like it would improve the swimming economy so much, right? And it only happens if FINA gets out of their own way.
It's meant to stay clean and healthy.
I picked this question for a reason, because sport meant to stay clean. I think the way to say that is sports are meant to stay fair. Like clean sport means everyone's competing on the same level. Healthy is interesting to me because like a lot of the major sports we watch are not healthy. Being a football player is not really healthy. You're getting your head banged around, the number of concussions, it's wear and tear on your body. It's brutal. Swimming is healthy.
Sports are wear and tear.
Right, but my point is like you are putting your...
Swimming is not a healthy sport. There's exercise-induced asthma. I had a girl that I work with who had to switch teams because the air quality in the pool was so bad. Shout out to Mary Beck, same thing at Texla, right? That's why they had to renovate the whole pool before NCAAs. Like that new UT pool with those little silver vents was not like that. Ask your OGs. It used to be a wooden pool with stone gutters, okay? None of that nice silver chrome dome finish shit, okay? And personally, like I'll tell you right now, if anybody who has ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease, it is stress induced. When I stopped swimming, I still don't take meds. I took some during this relapse, but nothing like super strong. Didn't take my strong stuff, the corticosteroids, didn't take any of that this time around. But it was stress induced. And the stress was the wear and tear I was putting on my body swimming. It was a physical stress, right? It's death by 1,000 cuts. And I will guarantee you, like people get shoulder injuries all the time because coaches don't know what they're doing technique-wise. Like swimming is not a healthy sport also. It is just as bad as every other sport in its own ways, right? If I'm losing 30 pounds in a week because I chose to be a competitive swimmer and I got sick, that's not a healthy sport.
At risk when you put yourself in a lot of those arenas. If you're a fighter, you're putting your body at risk. UFC is one of the biggest sports in the world.
If you continually swim and train at a high level, there is wear and tear on your body.
100%.
Like
yes.
There's a healthy swimming where you're going out and like working out, like my kind of swimming now.
Yep.
But it's different than your competition where like your repetitive motions may have a knee injury. You may have a shoulder.
That's true.
Is this fair?
Well, I think it is fair, technically speaking, because if you compete in the enhanced games, you're allowed to take the sauce. You're allowed to juice up. You're allowed to take testosterone. You're allowed to take steroids. It's free reign. So like knowingly competing against people that are on juice, sure that's fair. I guess then it becomes a question of like, well, who's on the best stuff, right? Like who's on the best juice? Like who's the most juiced up, right? Now, obviously, it's wrong and it's not fair under aqua standards in the Olympic Games at the World Championships. Like anybody that. But in this circumstance, like,
but it's also like whose doctor is pushing the limits the most as well.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. That's a whole nother thing. It's like,
what do we tell the next generation who may idolize the idea of enhancements for sport? What do you think about the potential harm the games could have on young athletes? Do you think it's teaching young swimmers the right message?
This is the main concern that most people have. This is my biggest reservation and concern is what it says to the youth, what it says to the kids. Like that, it's legitimately scary.
This is the part of the reason that he asked me to be on this, because I have a strong opinion.
She went on a whole rant in the kitchen earlier. I was going to do this by myself, and I was like, why don't you just do this with me?
This scares the living daylights out of me. I've been a middle school teacher for a long time. I've coached at all levels, including collegiate athletes. I understand that the enhanced games are looked at all the time. They have doctors. They have their own team. I get that, and that's wonderful. However, when you're 15 or 14 or heck even younger than that, you're idolizing these people and you're like, oh, I can get my hands on that. But they don't have a team of doctors. They don't have people looking out for them and watching them. It's sending a message that it is okay at a young age, and it scares the living daylights out of me, honestly. And we don't know the harm that could happen if a 15-year-old starts taking this long term. Kids are impressionable, so this really scares.
It's concerning. Yeah. On one hand, like I believe in freedom. I think if you're an adult, you should be allowed to do whatever you want to do. If you're a gym rat and you want to try to deadlift 1,000 pounds and you want to take steroids to help put on muscle to do that, I think it's your right. I think you should be allowed to do that. If you're a swimmer and you say, you know what, I want to take some drugs and see if I can go super, super fast, I think you should be allowed to do that. And that's kind of what they're doing, just on like a very grand scale. Is that a dog hair or is that your hair?
No, I think it's yours.
Thoughts on...
All right, I have very, 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 very strong feelings on the kid question. I'm going to tell y'all a philosophy that I live by. People will forgive you for being too aggressive. They will never forgive you for being a pussy. Okay, I believe that. And I believe that moving in fear is a pathetic and weak way to move through life. Now, I'm not calling anybody out right now. These are my thoughts on it, right? So when people say, and I'm not trying to be insulting, I'm not calling anybody any names. That's my personal philosophy on how I look at things. That might be you, unfortunately, but I'm not calling anybody. That's just like, I would never do that. Like that to me is a point of weakness that somebody can exploit, and I ain't gonna be exploited. So people say you can't control people. That's so wrong. You can definitely, I'm gonna say manipulate. You can motivate them. You can inspire them through your actions. You can show them a better way. Like there's so many ways to, you can be congruent where people will run through like hell for you and die for you. And you're telling me that, and this, like I said, this isn't directed at anybody specifically. This is just how I look at it. If there was 1,000 Daxes, I would look at all 1,000 Daxes and be like, you are weak. Now, obviously, people have their own opinions that they're entitled to. And I can look at them however I want, but that doesn't mean I impose it on them because they have their own experiences and things they went through in life that make them think that way. My experiences in 1,000 Daxes are how I think. And I believe that anything done in fear never turns out well. I truly believe that. I believe you always operate from a position of strength, especially as a leader. There ain't no begging. There ain't no dry snitching. You move with honor. You move with integrity. You move aggressively. You move with conviction. And you accept the consequences and apologize when it's appropriate. And you say, I'm sorry when it's appropriate. You know the difference between when to use the two. And I think that One, we are in a sport that is clean. Okay, we are a clean sport. That is why this is such an issue or such a hoopla, right? And now, if we have kids who see this, kids, not adults, kids, right? Because at every level, especially once you get to high school and you continue to compete, it is drug tested, right? So we're talking about the kids, 18 and unders. If kids are looking at this and idolizing them, you idolize their speed, you idolize what they do, not necessarily like, but you recognize cheating for what it is. And I think that, like, if they say, like, I'm willing to cheat, like, they were going to cheat regardless. It's just happened to be swimming. Okay? And I believe if you're worried about kids thinking that this is, or believing that this is going to influence kids, you are not doing your job as an adult. If you think that this is going to be a more powerful influence, if you think money and riches is going to be a more powerful influence than letting you down and disappointing you as their leader, that is I'm getting passionate a little bit. That is an indictment on you. The end. I'll tell you what, when I was coaching, I will guarantee you that the athletes that I worked with would have rather died than look at me and even mention that they were thinking about cheating or that it might be a good idea. Okay? But I also move in a way through my life that what comes out of my mouth, I mean it. Right? And if I'm wrong, I'll apologize. So they know there's like a level of trust between that. But like, we're in a clean sport. They know that. And there's like, it is established that there is a right way to go about things and a wrong way to go about things. And kids know that the enhanced games, whether they get paid or not, is the wrong way. Okay. Now, obviously, I just talked about how I think they've been to these Olympics, go get your bread now. They mistreated you. I think that is the right way to go about doing the wrong thing. And to me, I say it's venturable close to being honorable, but or not dishonorable, and on its way to being honorable. But yeah, I think that if you're worried about kids looking at this and thinking that it's a good idea, you got some internal things you got to work on, dog. I believe that 1,000%. 1,000%. Right? Like, I remember there was this, I watched this YouTube video and this guy was saying there's 4 types of people that join the military. There's patriots. There's people who need a job. What was the other one? People who need a purpose, I think. And then there's people who want legalized murder. Okay? So if we have a bunch of people who know that are choosing the wrong way, something in their life said that was okay. That is on the people that raised that person, not that person. He just did what he saw and what he interpreted to be as okay, and nobody stopped him. So I think that the kid thing, I think it's a cop-out because people don't want to hold their stance on or say what they really believe, and they're talking about what their feelings instead of saying, I'm not worried about it. My kids know there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things, and if they're under me, wow. If I'm coaching them, that is not the way we do things. I can't explain that anymore, guys. Like, if you're worried about it, you're messing up as a coach. I truly believe that. You are messing up as a coach or as a role model, whatever. You are messing up. Like, you should have no conviction that you should have absolute conviction that you have led and lived in a way where the kids know that that's the wrong way, right? Even though they can wow and say, man, the money is good, but my integrity is worth more. I can't explain that enough. And that's why it pisses me off, because gosh, this sounds so bad. It says to me more about the people who are coaching these kids than anything else. That's what it says to me, is that you're not doing something that you're worried that they think that their morality is for sale. And as a mentor, as a leader, that's on you. Imagine if the parents are at home teaching them about morality, teaching about these things, and then one day they take drugs to win a race, and they're like, We don't condone this. Where did you, like, what happened? Oh, all the kids on the team were doing this. Coach Dax doesn't care. That's on me. Like, everything in the listener life said that this is wrong, but somebody allowed it to be an acceptable thing. So I truly believe that, guys. I truly believe that if you're worried about this, if you live your life in a way and lead them in a way where they know the difference between right and wrong, you should have nothing to worry about. And if it worries you, you need to do a better job. Sorry, that one took me so long, but I feel extremely strong about this because you are operating from a position of weakness to me if you believe that. Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Award money being considerably higher in the enhanced games versus the Olympics. This is the element that I love. I like, again, take your opinion on drugs out of the equation. I love the fact that there is an organization that's like, we're going to pay athletes a lot of money. Straight up.
Do you think that the Olympics will up their ante?
That's a great question.
Because
nope, because they own the morality battle. That's why it won't happen. And people are doing their jobs, or the fiendish jobs for them by shaming this. And the athletes are doing fiendish job also by not unifying and threatening that we're going to go get paid if you don't take care of us. And everybody is doing fiendish job by when they say we are going to be thought police and you cannot even support them. And then everybody applauds. It's just like Padme said. Oh, geez. It's like Padme said, this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause.
It should pay
only
more than.
If the enhanced games is successful and it starts taking away some of their stars, but the Olympics aren't going anywhere.
No,
The
and
Olympics are
they
not
shouldn't.
going anywhere.
But you should be rewarded.
Dude, your legs are prickly. Oh my God, you're like a cactus. Okay, get back on topic. Stop it.
Dang, on the internet, 4K for everybody.
Stop it. How do we motivate the next generation of swimmers if there isn't a big financial reward?
I'm gonna chalk this up to my moral argument, my morality argument I just said. It shouldn't be about the money. Obviously, these kids need to get paid, but your morality needs to be more than a paycheck. And you need to be teaching athletes that their morality is worth more than a paycheck.
Response to that would be, I didn't get into swimming for the money. I didn't want to be an Olympic athlete for the money.
I don't really think anyone that I know got it, like any high level swimmer that I know got into it because they're like, I'm gonna be a star.
The pinnacle of our sport right now
make
is
money.
representing your country on the biggest stage possible
Right.
at the Olympic Games. And that's a badge of honor that we wear proudly. That's why I have these rings and that's why I have that on the wall. So it's got nothing to do with money.
Do you think this will continue to grow?
I don't know. It's too early to tell. I had a lot of people bring up the ISL, comparing it to the ISL, how the ISL kind of fits.
Moving on. What would have been the motivation for Brett Hawk to become head coach?
Number one, money. They offered him $250,000 a year to be the coach. And there are very few coaching positions that pay that. Like,
Ain't about bread or nobody, but it's about getting paid in the swimming community. And honestly, I think that's where I get some jealousy from too, because I built an avenue that didn't exist before, where like if I wasn't trying to grow my business and take over the world, I would be working I think 20 hours a week, and I want to say making more than every NCAA coach. Okay, guys, well, I'm back. My computer's doing some funny business. It just crashed. And now I got it back up. My camera went down, so I'm using a different camera, as you can see. Less resolution. It's a lot brighter. I don't know why. Definitely look more handsome. But anyway, let's jump back into this.
Destroy his reputation as one of the best of his time by giving in to basic cheating.
he went into this knowing that it was going to, at the very...
I've been at this for almost like an hour, or almost an hour now. I think I'm at 48. I'm gonna give you the answer. Sorry, I'm Cody. I would listen, but like I said, I'm running out of time here. I'm not coral. What was the word? I can't even think of the word anymore. Is running thin. just not discernment. What is it? Some D word I was using earlier. This is one reason and one reason only why James would do any of this. Nathan G. Adrian. He ain't been the same since Nathan took him down at the Olympic Games with the underwater early breathing. James ain't been the same. Nathan took his soul. That's why. Moving on.
It's really funny.
Are there age limits?
This is a great
That
question.
goes back
There's
to the-
gotta be.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything on the website, but there's gotta be like an age limit of like 18. There has
And wow, 18's young.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, at minimum, you can buy alcohol, you can smoke, you can join the army, you can...
You can't buy alcohol at 18.
Sorry, right, most parts of the world...
Oh my goodness, what were you doing?
Most parts of the world...
What were you doing?
Most parts of the world, you can buy alcohol at 18.
And he took a Texas trip. I know what he was doing. You took a recruiting trip to UT. I know what he was doing. Yeah, dog, you gotta do better on that one. I guess I'd be not really. I don't self snitch, but yeah, you can't get caught lacking like that, dog.
Not here in America.
Definitely not.
Okay.
You just now can buy alcohol.
I'm
at
saying
Sundays.
18 is like generally when you consider people an adult. Do I think 18 is too young?
What the heck? My mic is messed up. Sorry, guys. Y'all just had some double volume right there. All right. Yay. All right. The gods have favored us, guys. Highly favored. You know how it goes. Let's get back to this.
Do a lot of stuff? Yeah.
That actually raised me from my own two boys who are pretty impulsive
You know what I
and
mean.
competitive.
You know what I mean.
What do you think the purpose of these games are?
The purpose is to create entertainment and make money. They're doing this to make money. That's what they're doing. They're literally doing this to make money. The Olympic Games is a money-making
Well,
operation.
and also, we talked about this earlier.
Remember what I said, guys. All these are systems of money laundering. I also don't think that this is, obviously it's to make money. I don't think that the enhanced games is a system to make money. There's something bigger in the pipeline for sure. I don't know what it is. Like, they're thinking outside the box to making these enhanced games was completely outside the box. Whatever else is coming is going to be even bigger outside the box. And that's what happens when you get real money behind things. Like, I know people don't like Trump's or whatever. But, President's son is behind, I think, Don Jr.? I don't know which one it is. I think it's Don Jr. He's behind it. You have like multi-million-dollar investors and business people, right? But the investors part is important because these guys, like when you're making money like that, you ain't penny pitching. Like me, like I'm spending $100 to make 1,000, right? Like that's my business is smaller. Those guys are spending millions to make billions or millions to make hundreds of millions. So if they dropped 100 or 1,000,000 for Christian, they're expecting a big return on investment. And I think the return on investment was to see how they could shock the market. I don't think that this was their upfront investment, return on investment, right? And I think this is where I say, like, you either do what it takes or you don't. Like, things cost what it costs. Like, I don't stress about prices of anything, right? Like, even right now, what my business is going through, like, I think most people, like, every time I spent money to try and like upgrade something, like you kind of expect an instant return. That's not how it works, right? I pay something for this, which brings up this issue. I pay for that. It brings up this issue and I pay for that. It's never I pay for this and I get a reward. I pay for this and I get a reward, right? Like it just costs what it costs. And I may spend $100,000 before I actually get the thing, my return that I was looking for with the first one, right? It doesn't matter. Whatever comes up, it costs what it costs. You pay it to get what you want. That's just life, right? So I like them spending $1 million. I believe that was just the cost of whatever to get. That's what it costs to see how much they could get swimming in people's mouths. Pause. And then whatever's next after that will cost whatever it costs. And whatever's after that will cost what it costs. But they know whatever that end goal is, how much they're going to make from it. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely bigger than just the games, like for sure. It's not the games at all. The games is a small part of something bigger, 1,000%.
When high level swimmers get out of the sport, I mean, your kind of whole life is built up to the pinnacle of the Olympics and things like that. And then what do you do after? What do you do after when you retire, when literally your entire life was swimming? Many athletes, like, swimming is your sport. That it's not just your sport, it's your livelihood, it's your job, it's your life. And so it kind of gives, just like the ISL did, kind of that gave, the ISL was something that people could do after. I assume that's maybe what Magnuson felt as, like, hey, this would be my next step to, like, be successful in life, or not necessarily. I think so. Will the money aspect influence professional swimmers around the world to participate?
That's the question. A lot of the success of this new event is predicated on, like, well, how many athletes are they going to get? You know, because, like, right now there's like 4 or 5 guys. There's no girls that have been announced yet. Obviously, they're recruiting and they're reaching out to athletes that they're trying to get people.
I do think it will. The money aspect will influence.
It was some. Yeah, some will. Some will. Like, look at Christian. Christian was 5th in the world for many years and was like, there's a big payday, I'm going to take this risk. Other people will do that.
Yeah. Are there a lot of athletes going to make the switch to the enhanced?
I think it depends on how fed up they are. A dog can only not have its day so many times. And like I said in the very beginning, when you pay the price and you're not getting rewarded for it, I think that's the way to go about it. I think the honorable way to go about it is you do it the right way, and then once you realize that, hey, these people really don't care about me at all, time to get my bread. Sorry, there's no disrespect to Cody and his channel, but it's time for me to go to sleep, and but I do want to hear a lot of these points.
It's going to be one or the other.
Yeah. Do you think this is going to take away from the beauty of the sport? I do.
Go ahead.
And then
Preach, woman, preach. She went on a whole.
Oh, I see. We got the Qui-Gon Jinn. I didn't even see that. I was looking at the Harry Potter wands. Shout out. I used to have Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber too. Cool.
In the kitchen about this.
I think the beauty of the sport is working hard and figuring out what works for you to be successful. Like, I think that Cody's journey, while at times was a little annoying because he didn't want to do things with me, like go to the movies or go on a walk because he wanted to lay on the couch because he was tired or whatever. I think that's the beauty of it, because at the end of the day, you know, you guys get yourself there, and that success is really on you, as well as your coach and your teammates and things like that. 100%, I'm not taking away with that, especially because I am a coach. I think that the beauty of it is in the details, I guess. And so, in my opinion, I do think it takes away from the beauty of it. But again, that's my opinion. Take it for what it's worth.
I'm kind of in the middle on this. I kind of see an argument on both sides.
I certainly do see the other side, but my opinion lies on the other.
Look, the beauty of the sport is you put in hard work and you get what you deserve, right? And a lot of people that think that this is wrong and don't agree with it, they just disagree with the use of drugs at all. But the reality is, like, you can't just shoot up steroids and get jacked. You can't just take testosterone and swim fast. Like, you still have to work hard. Like, Christian worked his ass off for his whole life. And just because he took those steroids and whatever else he took to set those records, in my opinion, it doesn't negate the fact that he's an incredibly hardworking individual. It just doesn't. But some people will, like, you know, they're going to say, he's a cheat. I don't want anything to do with him, blah, blah, blah.
I agree. I think why you're doing it matters also. You know, I think James especially, but I think this is me putting my own bias on it. These guys know their careers are over as far as getting what they want out of the sport, right? Like, I'm sure Kristen wants to be Olympic champion, world record holder. That dream is over. Like, I'm sure he's seen people, he was faster than him, now faster. It's like, there's a higher chance that he won't get it than he will, right? And he's made his peace, and it's like, it's time to get this bread now. Let's see what I can do. Like, and I think that's what it is. It's like, and that's, to me, I think the issue, the morality issue, is, are these people doing this to cheat? Because cheating is cheating, whether it's legal or not. Are they cheating to win, or are they cheating to see what their body's capable of? I think, like, to me, that may sound stupid to some people, but to me, I think that's a very, very, very big nuance.
Fine, that's your opinion. That's okay. But I think the beauty of the sport is, putting in your hard work and then getting to represent your team or your country. Like, I don't think that's okay.
Do you think people calling the 2089 50 free a world record is disrespectful towards Cesar Cielo?
Not really. Caesar's world record is still the official world record. If you go to the FINA Aqua website, look at the list of world records, it's still the world record. Like, the marketing team at Enhanced keeps calling it the world record, the fastest in history. And technically that's true.
You see how you said marketing? I'm telling y'all guys, well, it's world record marketing level is what they've done. But I don't think they've called it a world record. I think they said he's broken the world record. They've called it a world record swim. I don't think they've gone as far as to call it the new world record. Branding is very important, guys, because you can get sued if you say the wrong things, right? Like, I remember, I think this Dr. Sebi, who came up with a cure for, I want to say it was cancer. But cancer is a trademarked term that has a certain meaning. So you cannot say, I cured cancer that means this, that is owned by these people, because in their definition, cancer is not curable. So if you say, I cure cancer, you are violating and infringing on their trademark, and they can sue your ass. So, and like I said, there's money behind these people, so I'm sure they're being very careful, and FINA does not like it, so I'm sure they're being very careful to not call it the new world record. They'll probably call it a world record breaking swim. They'll call it he broke the world record, which he did. All these things he did. He went faster than the world record. They'll say he's the fastest man alive, but they will not say new world record holder, because that will get them sued. Lawfare.
Like, technically he is the fastest person that's ever swam the 50-meter distance, but he was on drugs, so it's like, it's an enhanced record. So call it whatever you want. It's just semantics, but I don't think it's disrespectful.
The only way Cody cheats is in Disney in the Buzz Lightyear game.
Shut up.
And I spanked him even though.
Don't say the word spank. Oh, gosh.
Given the prevalence of doping in high-level sports, why is there such a negative reaction?
Two things. Number one, the concern for the perception of the adolescents and kids. And the second one is people are concerned that they're going to do things that are going to hurt athletes.
Yeah.
It's like, it's logical concern.
Someone asked me, who's to say Caesar was not doping?
This is a question I got a lot. Like, do you think Caesar was doping? The only reason that you could make an argument for that is he did have a failed drug test. I don't think he was ever suspended or banned or anything like that. So there's like a little bit of a blemish, I guess you would call it, like in his career. But I don't know.
How do you feel about the return of the super suits combined with the performance enhanced drugs?
I don't like the super suits. I don't like them.
Oh man, I remember those bad boys.
To me, I thought that was the coolest part of the whole thing, because it was just like, hey, we going all in on the cheating. Like, get the super suits, double suit it, put the jacket on and put the Arena X Glide legs on underneath it. Like, I thought that was cool. It's like, hey, we all the way in on trying to break this world record. I thought that was cool.
I swam in those.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't like the super suits.
Not even gonna brag, then I'm. Do you think they should also be transparent with what kind of enhancing drugs they use? Yeah. Yes.
I would really like that. Like, I want to know, like, okay, if this first games takes place and they set a bunch of world records, like, I want to know, like, okay, well, what are they doing? Like, are they on steroids? What kind of steroids? What was the cycle? Are they on testosterone? Are they on peptides? Like, what are they doing? But the problem with that is you can't legally disclose that information unless someone is willing to do that. Like, the league can't say you have to disclose your medical information because there's all kind of HIPAA laws and stuff. Like, so like, will we know what they're taking? I don't know. And then that becomes the whole question of like, well, who's on the best juice? Like, it used to be like, who has to get paid?
Will all athletes who compete here get DQ'd from Olympics, World Aquatic?
They should retire before they do it. And yes, they should. I think it should be done with extreme prejudice. no chances. And I think it's if they are taking things that are illegal in and out of competition, right? Especially the out of competition stuff, right? Like my ulcerative colitis medicine, prednisone, which is a corticosteroid, it's unless you have a TUE, it's allowed in competition, but it's not allowed. No, it's allowed out of competition, right? So, I think if you're taking something that is illegal out of competition, I think that, like I said, extreme prejudice. Get them up out of there. I think FINA needs to do their job too instead of trying to bully people by policing speech.
Moving forward,
I don't think that they will be able to
you're not
swim
going to be
it.
able to. You're not going to be able to swim.
Yeah, they're not going to get DQ. They're just not going to be able
or
to swim.
compete. No, we're talking in swimming terms, but like just in, it's not just swimming.
Good or bad for the sport. Goes back to my teaching, coaching background, working with kids further, swim longer.
Compete longer.
Do PEDs in the enhanced games ruin the sport or redefine it?
Let's put it this way. This is hypothetical, but if the enhanced games is successful and they break a ton of world records, then it would absolutely redefine
I would say
it.
redefine.
It would absolutely redefine it. That's an if. I don't know. It could. It definitely could.
Cody?
This is where I'm going to disagree. The whole point of cheating is to do, like, the only thing to me that the PEDs, that this is proving, is that PEDs work. And we all know that, right? They're proving that you cheat, you can get paid, you can reap financial benefits. Like there's incentives to cheat. That's the only thing to me that this proves. And everybody knows that. Like Lance Armstrong's fame and fortune allegedly is built off him allegedly doping, right? So this just shows like, yeah, there's financial and social incentive to do this if you can get away with it, right? And since they're not trying to get away with it, it's just like, hey, yeah, we're doing this. I don't think it redefines anything. I think it just says that illegal drugs do what they do, or not illegal drugs, but PEDs do what PEDs do. I think it's a nothing burger. I said this before. I think it's a who cares? Like, why does it even matter, right? If they break every world record, why does it matter? They cheated. That's what it's supposed to do. So I don't know. That's just, I don't think it redefines or anything or whatever the question said. I think it's a who cares? Like, why does it have to do anything? Why can't it just be what it is?
I have a crystal ball.
We don't know. I think anybody that claims to know the future in general, I'm always skeptical of. Like if you claim that you just absolutely are certain about something that hasn't happened yet, it's like, okay, like my spidey senses go off. It's like, I don't know. Okay, so I have a policy. I don't read comments almost ever. I sometimes read comments on my own videos and on my own like Instagram. I do not read comments on SwimSwam, literally ever. I used to, I don't. And a big part of that is because throughout my swimming career, there were a lot of negative things said about me. Some of it justified, a lot of it not. And I found that it never...
Yeah, you talk about those illegal dolphin kicks. Shout out to Cody though. Shout out to Cody.
Only ever hurt me like mentally when I read negative things about me. So like I try to avoid that. But I've been reading a lot of the coverage on SwimSwam and I got to give them credit. They've been like pretty neutral on the whole thing. They've just kind of...
I post all the time.
No, she doesn't.
No, I really don't.
She doesn't.
I don't.
But they've been pretty neutral on their coverage, like not for or against. They're just like, there's this. But anyway, I have a few friends that love the comment section. And there have been a few comments that I saw that were sent to me that I thought we should address. And the first one is this one. And
USA Swimming should never
well, hang on. The name is Big Mike, which means like this person's probably trolling, like kind of.
It could be me.
No, don't open yourself up to that.
GAC to...
So the GAC, that's the Greensboro Aquatic Center. It's one of the most famous pools in America in USA Swimming. It hosts lots of major meets. And there were a number of people that are like, they should never be allowed to have a meet again because they held this time. I'm like, guys, let's not do this.
Yo, true though, but also this is the point of when I was talking about the thought police. This is supporting, they're literally supporting, like they're giving a competition venue. That is supporting this illegal venture. So that's why like, I say the thing about the FINA thing, like they need to do their jobs and just drug test people. But Like, technically, this falls inside of them trying to bully the swimming world into doing what they say about if you're associated or you support it. Like, that's exactly, or like an official just trying to get some money. Like, why do you care if they officiate the enhanced games? Like, but that's like the extremity of how that can be interpreted.
Just, you might not like the games, you might not like this movement. Let's not just attack people. Like, let's be kind. The reason I brought this up is because, like, let's be nice to people. Don't go attacking Christian. Don't go attacking these athletes because they're making decisions similar to what Christian's wife said.
Yeah.
It's a business decision.
It's best for their family.
And you can have your opinion on the morals and ethics of all of it, but like, when I saw this stuff, I kind of laughed, but I'm like, there are people that are actually saying that. It's like, yo.
Jonathan says, if USA Swimming is serious about this, will they ban Greensboro Aquatic Center from hosting future sanctioned meets like the Pro Swim Series, U.S. National Championships, and the U.S. Open? I don't really think this has anything to do with the facility.
It's just silly. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. They're an aquatic facility that got paid money.
Like,
to host
yeah, I was
it's
gonna
like,
say,
what?
I don't
They're a
really
business.
think that this is a
facility
issue.
It's a non-question. Yeah, it just kind of highlights like some people are like really passionate about how they feel about this. That's another reason why I wanted to do this podcast and talk about it. It's because
this is why because I've seen some of Cody's takes just in general in swimming, and he's always come across to me as a guy who really is thoughtful in the things that come out of his mouth. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, I literally said the exact same thing. That this seems like people are just like, and that's why I say the thing about the marketing. Like, it's easier to sell and emotionally and manipulate people when they're emotional, not their feelings, even though their feelings are a big part. But like, this got everybody in a tizzy, and it was just like this just showed that swimming, I guess, a lot more in their feelings than I thought of it as a sport.
people feel strongly one way or the other, and I think it's like really layered. I think it's really, really layered.
Yeah, and everybody sees it from a little different angle. And I think understanding other people's angles, like reading her post about, you know, her and her husband's decision to do this, is eye-opening because, I mean, we can sit in our cushy little couches all day long and have our opinions, but asking somebody else why they might feel that way or do that, then I think that's important.
Yeah.
I think that's important to grow in any aspect of life.
Yeah. I think people need to be understanding and be nice.
We're very understanding.
But we're living.
There we go, guys. Sorry about that. That's about an hour. Sorry I lost like 10 minutes in there. Whole computer system went down. Mic wasn't connecting. My camera wasn't connecting. And then it just, right before I was about to get off, it all connected. So, you know, saved by the bell. But shout out to Cody. I really like his opinion and his perspective on things. You can tell he's really thoughtful about the things he says. And that's why people listen. You know, he ain't just saying some shit. Like, he thinks, he stops. He doesn't just respond right away like people did, which was annoying to watch people do that and just be emotional, just out of control. That is what it is. If you respond emotionally, you're out of control, literally. And so it's always just refreshing. You know, he's somebody that I clearly have respect for as a thinker. So shout out to Cody Miller's YouTube channel, The Cody Miller Show. I'll make sure that, you know, we tag them in their stuff. We got to figure out how to do something, dog. But yeah, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit I almost hit the follow like it's Instagram. Hit that like, turn on the notifications, you know, share. Go hit up Cody's socials and show him some love. You know, he did a great job talking about this. We agree on a lot of things. I think one of the probably the major thing that I just disagree with everybody on is the impact on the youth and the kids. There's few things that I have like, I'd say everything I have like strong conviction on, but there's some where it's like, I'll hear you out, and some that it's just like, no, like it's war. And, you know, not war to be disrespectful, but it's just like, I really ain't trying to hear that. Like, and I think kids is one of them. Like, it ain't a negotiation. I think showing kids courage in the face of fear is important to me. And I think just not moving in fear in general is just never the way to do, right? Like, what did it say? Though I move through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Like, come on, dog. What does he say in that movie? I shall fear no evil because God is with me and I carry a big stick. Love y'all. Peace.